Good to see you, boys.
You gotta turn your mic on, man.
He's all right. He'll get there.
Did I just hack the internet?
You did. You hacked the internet.
You look
Nice.
sweaty.
I knew I'd
Were
break
you
the
watching
matrix.
Cops?
I was just cooking a bunch of steaks. My house is smoky now.
Maybe you should cook the steaks outside instead of inside.
Dude, well, I mean, a good steak needs to be cooked in a pan. Little little known fact. A quality steak needs to be cooked in a pan.
Little cast iron.
If you have it, yeah. I
There you
mean,
go,
or
bud.
or
I
the
You don't
the
have a cast
cheapy
iron?
Walmart. I don't know. I got some cheap stuff. We're gonna I was actually thinking about getting one soon, but I do not have one as of now, no.
It's pretty good, man. I use mine all the time. And
I feel like
Good.
I
They
just left
seem
you,
great.
Carlo.
Because you did.
I
We
did,
just
yeah.
saw each other.
Just a
It was
few
a
hours.
whirlwind of a weekend.
What a weekend, man. Busy for
Amazing weekend.
us. We got up there Thursday and we missed that traffic going up the Grapevine here from SoCal. There was an overturned truck from the wind on the southbound side, but we didn't hit any of that traffic. Bunch of looky-loos, but we got up there Thursday, set up all the cameras, got the tournament up and running, and then bang bang Friday, Saturday, long finals, which is amazing. I mean, it went fast, but a 3 hour final is always tough. And then hopped in the car first thing this morning and drove all the way down to Mount Sac for CBU West Virginia. So and then was able to be on that for the Beat the Streets call, and then came home. Got to hang out with the fam for a little bit, and then the boys are like, "Let's do a recap." So we're gonna do a recap.
well, before we
Brian,
do a
you're
Doc B
insane.
recap, I do want to talk about CBU. And what is the vibe that you got just being in that space right now? Obviously, the duel was at Mount Sac. It wasn't at the CBU, their event center. But CBU is hosting West Virginia. Was there a pretty good turnout?
Packed, both sides of the stands in Mount Sac. There's 7 to 10 rows on each side of the gym. And then all the dignitaries, all the VIPs are mat side. There's 4 rows deep. Head of USA Wrestling, Bruce Baumgartner was there. Yaru, he runs Beat the Streets. So all the donors and the dignitaries for Beat the Streets were there. And with the gym packed, everybody had a sign or a shirt that said hashtag save CBU wrestling. And those were passed out. And a really cool thing in solidarity in the introductions, West Virginia came out and they were wearing the shirt and they wanted to
Awesome.
support. There was a little bit of a silent protest that went on during the match. Each of the CBU wrestlers had their singlets turned inside out and wrestled that way. But a really nice crowd at that event. West Virginia traveled over. Now they beat CBU, but the crowd was very much intact. They were up for wrestling, and they saw why Southern California should have a D1 school.
It seemed like from things that I've talked to a couple different people, but it seems like it's very much the administration gave them really no explanation other than this is how we want to move forward as an athletic department. But in my mind, it's a Christian university. Obviously, wrestling is a biblical sport, but at the same time, it's like your aim, your mission as a Christian school is to be develop character and provide opportunities for people to grow spiritually as well as academically. And I don't, I think it's I don't want to use the word perverted, but I think it's pretty jacked up that there's no path to this is how we fix it or this is how we can work with it. I mean, hey, let it give them an opportunity to fight or give them an opportunity to be self-funded, you
Yeah,
know?
and that's the speculation that we really haven't got too much word on it. But from everything that we've heard, they went in the budget meeting and things were talked and said, "Hey, we're cutting this program: diving, swimming, golf, wrestling, and we'll honor your scholarship if you want to stay. We'll help you on the transfer portal if you need to, but we're not taking any questions. That's just what's going to happen." So I don't know if they're going to entertain some situation. There was a little bit of a scuttlebutt of some sort of lawsuit going out, but not sure what that's going to do. Whether the university keeps the program or not, Southern California is definitely it's been a tough wound for sure.
Can I interject and ask what was the saving grace when Stanford was going through their thing? What was it, 7 or 8 years back? I mean, they were on the chopping block and then they weren't. What was the change?
Well, it was like I think 4 years ago, right? It was 2021, I guess 5 years ago.
Oh yeah, I'm way
Um,
off. Yeah, sorry.
So there was a couple things that happened. It was a similar situation where basically the administration was just like, "Hey, we're cutting these sports," and the turnaround was basically all those different sports came together, and it was like rowing, sailing, I think field hockey. I think there was a few other sports, and then wrestling, and they all came together and there was protests, and I think there was a large amount of pushback. And I think basically the supporters of those different sports all came together and were very loud to the point where yeah, they pushed back pretty hard. And I
And I
think
think that needs to happen again.
it
It's
seems
got
like
to be
it's a
a
similar
community.
situation here.
Yep. And
So
it's got
it
to be
was
a community.
grassroots.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Was there a couple of big donors that stepped in? Because money talks, obviously, and it always comes down to money. Or
See,
was
and
it
I heard
really
they
just
had,
a loud enough voice and enough pushback? Because I doubt that was the only thing.
I
I
saw and I
don't think
read
it's a
that
money thing.
they had their $40 million endowment. So I don't think it's a money issue. Uh, I mean, maybe it is. Maybe that they don't want, they're not bringing in enough revenue to where they want to allocate those funds to other sports. That's on them. I think it was just a call from a budget standpoint, or I don't know, because it just wasn't wrestling. Obviously, with golf and diving and swimming, but I don't know. But it was electric in that gym today, and everybody had their shirts, their black and white shirts that said "Save CBE Wrestling." Alumni came out. It was a packed house for sure.
I'll say one more thing, and this is something that I've heard from a couple different people that were involved with what happened at Stanford. It was more than just a money thing. They kind of said, "Hey, we want to redistribute the funds to allocate for this growing landscape, whatever the jargon is that they say now." But when it came to, "Hey, well, let's fundraise for it. Hey, like let's cover the cost of the program," and they shut it down for when I hear that, it sounds like it's something else. And what was happening at Stanford was a little bit of there were some admission scandals that were taking place where, hey, I'm going to donate X amount of money and my kid's going to get in. And the way that I'm going to get in is through sports. And it's going to allow me to have a little bit of a bypass to get into the school. Now,
I forgot
CBU is
about
not
that.
as
Yeah,
academically rigorous as a Stanford. But if you look at when we visited a couple of years ago, CBU's changed a lot. Like they have new facilities when it comes to recovery for athletics and also supporting academics. Their restroom room hasn't been updated, but they got this beautiful new event center. They have a new rec center with a soccer field on top of it, made of turf. Like it was a pretty cool thing that, and a lot of our high school kids and their families that went on that little, kind of informal tour, got to see all that stuff, and we were all pretty dang impressed at how things have grown. And from what I've heard as well, a lot of money is kind of being put into CBU right now to where they're actually buying property around the campus and they're turning into like student housing, student apartments, things like that. So I don't know. I feel like when there is some money stuff going in, um, I'm not going to make any accusations, but it does sound a little bit of what was happening at Stanford from things that I've heard.
We're gonna know here in the next couple months when things come out and they kind of figure that out. But they got to push through. Those wrestlers were focused today, and hopefully they can push through and get to the postseason, get a couple qualifiers, and get it on the national stage.
Absolutely.
they have an
Yeah.
elite Poway kid, right? One of the top
Yeah.
kids in the country went there.
Paul
Yeah,
Kelly's
Paul.
there.
Paul Kelly. I wanted to say Paul Kenny for some reason. Paul Kelly.
Jesse Vasquez is there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a couple really strong kids. Mario from Canyon Springs is there. He had a
Uh,
really tough match today. Lost right at the end, but Vasquez won his match. Paul Kelly won his match. But yeah, they got a couple good California kids, and it's just a bummer that another D1 school in California decides to close its doors.
And they're relatively. How long have they been D1 for? 5 years,
3 years
maybe.
maybe.
Three,
Yeah, 3.
3 years.
Jeez, grand opening, grand closing.
But really competitive as a Division II school, very competitive as a NAIA school. And when Zaleski was the head coach, I think he was very instrumental in helping CBU become a Division I program and then starting that transition. And then Coach Moore has done a really good job in developing guys, and I think in not just developing but also recruiting. Like they've got a couple guys in the transfer portal last couple years, but then also have been a pull for a lot of Southern section and San Diego kids. So I don't know. I see it like when I heard that, it felt like we were in at Sonora when I heard that. It felt like like if CCB was cutting their program again, like how would I feel? And I'd be pretty fired up. So I feel bad for obviously all the alumni that have been there, but also for the kids that are on the team.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
Coach Moore is the best part of his games is recruiting. Let us not forget one Mitchell Messenbrink was
Yeah.
committed.
And he goes out and then makes the world team and does his thing and then decides to go to Penn State. But
I mean, props for him for finding that diamond in the rough before anybody else did.
yeah, yeah, I
I
got
mean,
to
he's
talk to
he's
him
had some monster recruiting classes, relatively.
relatively.
Yeah.
We talked today for about 5, 10 minutes and just he wants to push forward and get through the season and let administration do their job. But right now he's got to get those boys focused and ready for conference and hopefully get some qualifiers to go out to nationals.
That's probably the right call. I mean, you can't take away from the development part. The only other side is obviously, recruiting and stuff like that. It's like, well, can't really be recruiting right now because you can't promise anything right now.
Nope, nope,
Dang. Jeez,
crazy.
that's a tough spot to be in. Yeah.
It was good. It was good to see West Virginia come out. The last 3 years, ASU was out last year and Iowa State the year before. This year with West Virginia, it was good. A good duel. Got to see some really high level wrestling for sure.
Hey, how
They're
good
always
is
a scrappy
Ty
team.
Waters in your opinion, Brian?
Ty looked good.
Yeah.
He's very methodical. I wouldn't say that he's flashy whatsoever. Wrestling Larkin, makes that mistake, but you're ranked number 2 in the country. And he went out and showed it. And I think the final was 9-2, 7-2, something like
It's
that.
I got 7-1 on the results page. But Drayden Morton's not bad.
Drayden
He's a pretty
Morton,
tough guy.
Morton was in on a shot right away and was not able to finish it. But Ty, he had a lot of pressure on the shoulders with his like whizzer half and Ty Wilder, he's the real deal for sure. It was great
Would
to
you
see
would
him.
you say, Brian, for all the doubters out there, that Ty Waters is for sure a national title contender?
I would absolutely put him in that. I think that making the semis and getting in that round, see where he's at. I think Cannon's above him now, but yeah, I think Waters could easily make a final.
Can I
Carlos is
can
putting
I
together the dots.
I
the
Carlo.
know
burrito bet? I feel a burrito bet coming on. I'll,
the
I'll take
ones
the
I
other
could.
side of that. I'll take
Well,
the other
no,
side of
you
that for
said in the
sure. If you
group
want to put
chat
it on
that he
camera.
is hardly the bar. Like you're still going to hold out on Larkin's ability because he hadn't beaten anybody good, and then he
Well,
beats Ty
that's
Waters.
that's going with my no, that's going with my contention right now. I don't think he's a national title threat at all. Respect to him, I think he's a good chance of AA and getting on the podium. But I would not put Larkin's win over him as a strong indicator for being a national title threat. However, I will say um, with Zerbin and with Waters, um, Larkin's chances of climbing rungs on the podium are getting better every day. But no, I would take that burrito bet that Waters is not a title contender by the end of the
You
season. I'll put
what how would you quantify what a title contender is at the end of the year? Like if he finishes top three, obviously if he finishes in the final, he's a contender.
yeah. I mean, if you want to look at body of work, we can start there. But just my eye test is just attributes. Like Robidone, he knows how to put points on the board. He's got stingy defense. Cannon's just a goer. He's so tough. He wrestles the whole match. He's always looking to score. He can win a shootout. Obviously with PJ Duke, I think Antrell Taylor when he gets hot, he's really, really tough to wrestle. And that's just a monster. And then you have to go through Larkin again. That's just a
So do you,
monster group, right? And then there's Shapiro. Geez, it's such a killing killer group.
but do you think that taking fourth at the NCAA's is pretty good?
Yeah, if he gets
I
fourth, I would
At
say he
that
has an
weight.
excellent season.
but
So
that's
If
what
he
he's
gets fourth,
at. He's like fourth last year.
if
So
well, no, I don't know, he didn't wrestle last year, right?
no,
Two
he's
years
third.
ago?
oh,
Two
yeah,
years ago.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I mean. Yeah, 2 years ago,
at
but
49s or is that 57s?
I don't remember. But
I think he was at 49s 2 years ago. He started the year at 57s last year
yeah,
before he got hurt, I think, is what it
Yeah.
is.
it's all
No,
gonna come
I
out in the
think
wash.
I don't see it. And I'm not big on rankings. I do think some of the rankings are deserved. I think Cannon's rankings deserved. I think PJ's rankings is exactly where he needs to be. Uh, I don't think I don't think Waters is at the right spot. And that's not his fault. I just don't think he's at the right spot. And
Well, it's the
I don't know.
conference right now, and that ranking puts him at number two. And getting through the Big 12s is different than getting through the Big 10s. Um,
Well, at
Yeah,
157s, you have Robideau,
sure,
you
yeah,
have Waters, and you have Larkin.
but it's a big difference between getting through the Big 12s and the Big 10s. I mean, if you got three guys to get through, you're probably going to be in the semis on one side of the bracket to see on who there. He's just got to beat one of those guys to make the finals. Um,
Yeah, for Big 12s, but
right.
let's say how would you seed right now? You'd probably seed Robideau and Larkin as the one and the two, and then you have
yeah.
Waters as the
I put
three.
Waters at the two.
So that means really?
Yeah.
What was the
Larkin the
outcome?
one.
The Robideau wrestle Robideau didn't wrestle Larkin,
He's only lost to Antrell. Robert has only lost to Antrell. He's
right?
like
So you put
bonus to
Robideau as the
everybody
one
else.
and put Larkin as the two, and then
No,
Waters as the three.
I think put Larkin at the one, Waters at the two, and Robideau at the three.
So Robideau is going to have to
Interesting.
wrestle, or Larkin or Waters is going to have to wrestle both of those guys. Then he's going to have to wrestle
Yeah,
one of these
unless
semis
nothing
at Big
changes
12s.
in a head-to-head duel coming up soon.
Does West Virginia, do they wrestle Okie State coming up?
Good question.
That's a great question.
Let me be my young Jamie right now. I'm not as fast.
Hey, Jamie, pull that up.
He would have
Brian,
already had it pulled. Like he would have already been typing it as you said, pull it up, and it would have been there.
Yeah, I know. The guy is AI. He's predictive.
He is AI, and they're I forgot what AI they're using right now.
And
fact of
Jamie,
the matter
he's
is
AI.
that I think Waters is a title contender. And after seeing him in person today, yeah, I think he's good. I think he's real good.
He's good. Is he still I mean, he's obviously has a huge frame. You know what stood out to me was I think Larkin was taller than him after moving up from 49s to 57s. Larkin was still taller than him. Not as filled out, but longer. I could be wrong. I mean,
So
it's hard
water.
to judge when they're wrestling.
So West Virginia and Oklahoma State already dueled, but Ty Waters did not wrestle in that one.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't come back till recently.
Well, they got him at number two in the country right now, so I think he's going to be above Robideau.
Let's
We'll figure out where
I feel
Larkin
like
gets there, but
without without
feel
going
like you
down the
got to put
rabbit hole.
Larkin
Let's
as
say,
the two.
yeah, I would go Robideau, Larkin, Waters personally, but let's. I mean, none of that matters. Let's say, let's say Waters wins out the Big 12s. I don't think anything changes NCAA seating wise. I think Cannon and PJ are still above him. Um, what is he right now? He's two. He's
hmm
gonna have to wrestle like PJ Duke if he makes it that far. And two wrestles seven. So he's gonna have to wrestle like a Cardenas or like possibly an Antrell if Antrell doesn't have a good Big Tens. He's gonna have a rough one, I think.
we're going to see
Maybe a
when that seeding
Shapiro.
meeting
Shapiro
comes
doesn't get the
out.
right
I mean,
matches.
they all got to qualify number one, but once they get there,
Yeah.
I don't know. I do. I think he's a title contender, and that's my story.
I do know
He
when we
could.
do our draft this
Yeah.
year, I'm
No,
waiting
he's
on
he's great. He's
57s.
talented.
You're going to wait on 57s?
Yeah, 57s is going to be like a last pick.
Dude,
Gotcha.
there's a sneaky pick at 57s too,
Shut
from a
up.
school that you guys will never even think of. I'm not. I'm not going to tip my hand just yet, but there's
You
somebody lurking in there that
Just
nobody
tell
knows
the
about.
world right now who your pick is going to
no.
be at 57. That way we can stay away from him.
There's no sneaky pick. You're gonna hey Carlo, my
No,
recommendation
there's
is you
no.
pick Jordan Williams.
Yeah, my number one. That's a good
And you
recommendation.
say Zurban's a bad pick. Shapiro, you don't know what you're gonna get with him. I wouldn't say there's
Yeah,
any certainty with that.
Can we
Maybe if you're
spit?
picking
you're gonna
57s
get.
late
You
and it's like a value pick,
you know what you're gonna
maybe.
get with Shapiro? You're gonna get bonus points for at least a round or two.
Or give
Sure.
up bonus points if he concusses himself or pulls out of the tournament.
Well, you can't give
Hey,
up bonus points, but yeah,
we'll stay on college. I'm talking about today. Can we transition for like maybe 2 or 3 minutes on Jacks?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean I
yeah.
think that's
Let's do that.
I didn't think he was going to be competing right away because I think the options from what I heard that were on the table was a gray shirt or a red shirt. Um but I guess he has 5 events technically as a freshman, so this counts as a year
Yep.
in terms of his redshirt year. So
And Taylor said he's going to wrestle all five.
Does that mean
He's
he's gonna
going to,
go for sure next year?
I think so.
yes.
Yeah.
Because he's red. I mean, if he burns his red shirt now, his clock is started. He has no red shirt.
Well, he hasn't burned his red. He's got
He's
five.
using his red shirt this year.
He's got 5 matches. He doesn't have to burn it.
He's got 5 events.
Yep.
So
So, and he's going to take his 5 events, and then he'll still be able to have a red shirt.
I don't think it would be smart to have him start this year.
No, no, and
Wait,
Taylor said
pause
that
for me.
already.
I'm sorry to derail. You can he can retain his red shirt after this year, even if he wrestles 5 times.
Correct. You get five
You get
events.
5 events. Over five
I
events,
thought
your red shirt's burned.
The moment you wrestle your sixth
your
event,
red shirt's
you're burned.
burned. That's what I'm.
Yes. So that mean you could redshirt the following year. Like Miko last year, he wrestled more than 5 events, burned his red shirt. So he
Yeah.
hasn't wrestled any events this year, so he
Okay.
could technically
What I'm
redshirt this
saying
year.
is he's redshirting. Yeah. What I'm saying is Jax is using his 5 events and he's redshirting this year,
Correct.
right? That would I would say that indicates that David Taylor is planning on having him start next year out
Yeah.
the
Correct.
box as a high school
Yeah.
graduate. Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I'm
Yep.
saying. So you're technically year one, after post high school. He'll
He
be
is post high
drafted
school.
This is
officially.
his first year.
He's officially graduated high school, and he's
Yeah.
enrolled in college at
Oh,
Okie State.
I didn't know he's graduated high school. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess that has to make he has to graduate high school, I guess, to
he's done.
because the semester is over.
He's officially enrolled at Okie State.
He's A to
Dude,
G
I
compliant, as we say in California.
Well, he looked pretty good on the mat and didn't spend much time on the mat today, but on the car ride back down,
Bottom lake cradle.
just nuts, explosive, and goes out there and takes care of business in a hostile crowd. He's been on the world circuit for sure, so he's not that moment in Gallagher is not too big for him for sure.
well, what's cool about
Yeah, this
Bedlam
new
too is it
generation of
happens twice, right? So they do one in Stillwater and then they go one in Norman.
Hmm.
they wrestled twice in the same year.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
I learned something new. I did not know they wrestled twice in the same year.
He's a
I
stud.
was going to say this new generation of talent is insane, man. I think it's probably a good segue to Doc B, going from Jax to, I mean, we're talking about Robino and all this, but Jaden James, dude, that guy's a
the
mutant.
the best wrestler that I saw all weekend long. I mean, watching him on
Slava
the
from
back
Birmingham is
match.
no slouch.
No,
That
he's
guy is
pretty tough.
tough.
So when we
He is
mentioned it on the
tough.
broadcast, and Robbie Smith did a really good job talking about it, was Slava went forward every time. He did not let up.
Even
He
after him.
level
Yeah.
change,
He got to
doubles,
legs.
and the defense of James was just too fast, too good, and in any position he was able to get out of it and turn it right back into offense. And Jaden James is a dude for sure.
Carlo, I know you're
Slava
reading
stopped. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna kind of add to this a little bit. I know you're reading the book Flow, also called Glow, by certain people in certain circles. Um, what do you think it kind of takes for some of these guys to be able to just totally dominate one of the toughest high school tournaments in the country, to be able to be at that level where they can not only just beat up on high schoolers, but win college wrestling matches and be able to contend for a title right away.
Dude, I wish I knew. These guys they're different. What do I think is happening? I think a lot of things are happening. I think there's just access to information at higher level coaching. I do think there's definitely a psychology element to this that you're bringing up the book flow that I think good coaches and kids are tapping into. Finding flow state can kind of be quantified a little bit. It can kind of be coached a little bit. But I think that just watching Jaden James, um, I don't know. My mind was blown. I saw him step over when Slava's best position's an underhook, and he threw that underhook by, and Jaden just stepped over, like
Stepped right over it like it was nothing.
far legged in and stepped over into a takedown while they're both still on their feet. I was like, dude, not even in my imagination could I do that. He carved. There's a sequence like you said, Slav went after him. Like he stopped Jaden James' first sequence, and Jaden like went 3 or 4 moves deep, and he stopped all of them. And then Jaden just went out there and took him down right after that. He was on a low single at the end of the first period, at the ankle. Jaden James couldn't defend it. And then in the second period, I don't know. I think Jaden James missed on a shot. Slava got behind him in a rear standing. Jaden James like tries to score up. They end up in a bear hug. And I don't know if you recall the sequence. He does a standing cartwheel while he's
He did.
facing
He
Slava.
we talked about it on the
Standing
broadcast.
standing cartwheel.
He planted himself on his face, and next thing you know, he rotated like he was doing some breakdancing move, and he gets out of a standing revert. Like, it was just
He
nuts.
went full Jerry Abbas, is what you're saying.
He was
Even
doing
even
magic tricks.
crazier.
He was stepping over from pass bys, doing cartwheels in midair and teleporting behind Slava like it was Street Fighter 2 and his name was Dalsim. It was insane.
We were talking about it afterwards when he was up on the podium and he was getting his belt buckle for OW and stuff. And somebody, I don't know who it was, it wasn't me, I won't take credit, and they're like, he's Houdini. He
Yeah.
showed up. You
He was
mentioned
doing magic
teleport.
tricks.
Yeah, it was a very impressive young man to watch, and I'm glad that I was able to broadcast and be on the call for one of his matches because it was so dynamic. And Slava wrestled a great match. I mean, he's in on every shot. There was nothing more he could do, and
He
next
wrestled
thing you
hard.
know, it's
Yeah.
it's 10-0, and he's struggling to figure it out.
Yeah. He gave himself a shot to get on the board and score some offensive points. It just on the one hand, it's got to be so like you got to be second guessing yourself at some points. Like I'm doing everything right, and this guy's still cartwheeling out of my body lock while we're both on our feet. Like, what do I do?
I mean,
Both those
what do you say
guys.
if you're Jimmy? I mean, what do you say to Slava after like is what you could do
Go out
better?
on your shield. Oh, afterwards,
Yeah.
yeah, it's there's oh man, go to the OTC and train with him. That's it. That's all you can say is like the only way to catch up is you got to go train with a guy
Give him
and
a
feel
plane
it
ticket.
because when there was a moment when Slava shot and Jaden James literally just jumped up and landed behind him.
Yeah.
That might have been for no, that wasn't for the tech. That was like the second to last takedown. But yeah, you just got to go train with those guys. There's no way to prepare for a Jax Forrest, a Jaden James, a Bo Bassett. It's hard to prepare for those guys unless you feel it. So yeah, that's probably what I'd be telling them. You just got to go and get a plane ticket to the OTC and feel it.
What what
Another
year is
weight.
Jaden James right now?
He's a senior.
Say that
He's a
again.
senior. So
Yeah.
he's a senior right
Yeah,
now.
he's a
So if
young
you think about
senior.
like pound for pound rankings, like he's not number one.
That's
Um,
probably Jax, right?
yeah, you would think probably
Jax or
Jax,
Bo.
but nah, he's
But
extremely dynamic.
look at it this way: he beat Melvin Miller, who beat Brandon Cannon, who's currently ranked first in the country.
Yeah, that's the
Now that
truth.
was at 57s, but I mean, it should. I don't
Me and
know. Some of these high school kids are just on some different stuff right now.
Oren and I were sitting down and we were watching a first round matchup. in the small gym. I was sitting next to Oren, and James is out there, and we said the exact same thing. Is this guy the number one ranked kid in the NCAA's? Because he beats Mel and then Mel Cannon, and like, nah, he's great. He really, really, really knows what he's doing. And a good wrestler in every position, and just the most humble guy. It was great to sit and watch him.
Do you know where he's committed right now?
Yeah, Penn State.
I believe it.
James, yeah, he's going. Penn State
Sure.
got him a couple years ago. Man, I think right after they had Joe Seeley and and Jaden James went in there, and I don't know if he beat Joe Seeley. I want to say he beat Joe Seeley and who's number one, and he was like a sophomore. I could be wrong on who he beat. I think I am wrong, but he beat somebody really good, and he was a young sophomore. He's not a holdback. He's like the appropriate age, and they like instantly recruited him. Um, yeah, the guy's
So I'll transition a little bit with it when you mentioned Sealy. This morning, in the hotel, having breakfast in the lobby, was able to sit there and talk to some of the Faith Christian kids. And Singer was there, and Nick and I told him it was a pleasure to watch him. And there's a picture of the podium, and we were talking about how Carini and Ontiveros take out the number one and the number two ranked kids in the country. And you look at like Fernandez on there, and then the Pomona kids. So just a stacked podium. And we were looking at the picture all together. And he had mentioned, and he said, well, that's a pretty good podium. But then he started talking about his freshman year. He was at a podium, and it was like Ferrari and Seeley and like all these big dudes. And he was just a freshman, and he was able to take eighth and be on the podium with these guys. And he goes, well, that dude's number one in the country. This guy's, recruited. And so Seeley's there, and it was cool to see Singer talk about. I've been on some pretty big podiums, and I said to him, I go, well, you're part of the reason why those podiums are amazing, and to be able to have a good half hour, 40 minutes to talk with Singer this morning, just a great young man, and I look forward to seeing him at the next level too. But Carini
where's he
and
going?
I honestly I don't know. I have no clue. I'm not one of those guys that
You know where
looks at that.
Carini's going?
Where
Carini's
Carini's
going to
going?
Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And he had a
Virginia Tech with
great
a
tournament.
monster recruiting class. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a good job right now. They got Bo
Mario
Bassett, Melvin.
Mario had a great tournament. His
Seidel's going to be a beast next year.
Virginia Tech's
Sorry
on
to
the
keep
up.
derailing.
Nah, you're good.
Yeah, their 33 pounder is going to be nasty next year. Aaron Seidel.
Flo had touted the Jeter Singer three, and it happened. But it happened in the fourth place match. And what the best match of the tournament, maybe outside Zink in the finals, but the third place match, it's 8-0. And then it becomes 8-8, and then it goes to, the sudden victory. Now, going back, I think that there's a loss of control on Jeter, and it should have been tied 9-9, and let's go to the next round. But the match happened. And I was talking with Dave Bray, and just what an amazing match. And Adam Tierpelli was the same thing. The best match of the tournament was the third place match in the back room, and those guys are warriors for sure.
I literally walked out as that match was getting started.
Why?
Like I I'm an idiot. I was reading my book. I barely was watching any of those matches. I was just there because I had to tell the table that our guy was medically forfeiting for the seventh place match, and then B, I just had nowhere else to sit. But once the gym started opening up, I went back. I was just in there reading my book, and I ended up watching a couple matches. There's a guy named I want to say his name's Jacob Perez. Something Perez
That's
from
your
Everett
boy.
Alvarez. I want to watch his
Yeah,
match. That's
Jacob
my
Perez.
boy. He took third. He wrestled great. And there's a couple other matches I wanted to watch. Orange boy Hoysier. I don't know how to say his name. He took third. He got a double forfeit into the third place match, but he took full advantage of it. He looked amazing, and he beat somebody pretty good. I want to say from Bergen Catholic to take third. Um, so he looked good. And there's a couple other matches I wanted to watch, but I ended up walking out as that match was getting started, and I am an idiot for not sticking around a couple more minutes.
I think that's a very fair assessment of yourself because it was a great, it
For
was a
many
great,
reasons other than that, but yeah.
it was a great match.
Well, I think it's a grind, man. I mean, I think
Did you
you
watch it
stayed.
live?
Yeah, I was right there. I was Matt side. Yeah.
Yeah, he was commentating.
Wow.
I didn't commentate the third place match.
Oh, you didn't do
We
that
had
one?
already set up our table for the finals, and being part of the production company, coming over, and we have to clear out Matt 7 and 9, and Matt 8's going. So I was able to finish it up, and that was the second to last match, third to last match. So being able to sit there and watch it, and both the seventh place and the fifth place matches were completed. So everybody kind of came around that mat, and it was packed, and everybody was all eyes were on Junior Singer, and it lived up to the hype for sure. What a tough tournament though, man. I've been at the last five or six Doc B's. Well, 20, yeah. So the last five Doc B's, and it just gets tougher and tougher and tougher. And this year's tournament was one of the best I've ever seen in the country. Nails. Adam did a great job. Gabe Schaefer did a great job. Buchanan is the real deal. They've got a deep, solid team, and Faith Christian's pretty dang good. Faith Christian had a rough semis. They lost like four
Yeah.
in a row, but
I wish I could go back in time and put that burrito bet on because I would be a burrito richer right now. But
you would
great.
have.
But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't there, so I couldn't get the vibe. And like, I was trying to kind of see like maybe we can get like some kind of parlay or something, but I wasn't sure. Wasn't sure what to do on that.
Brian, I was with you on that.
I've lost too many
I didn't
burritos,
think
man.
I don't know. They looked well. The all of I was kind of saying I feel like the whole anybody who wasn't from California looked jet lagged. It wasn't just Faith Christian. It was Del Barton. It was Bergen. It
Yeah,
was Pomona. They looked they and actually the Colorado schools usually do well because of they get that elevation
the
training.
high
But
altitude.
the out of yeah, the high altitude. But the ones that were traveling from the East Coast, they struggled. It was across the board. I mean, is it Del Barton's ranked fifth? Bosco beat them. Um, and then uh Buchanan beat Faith Christian. They just struggled. They struggled. So it was a
Buchanan's
good bet to
deep.
make.
And here's the crazy part. Buchanan ran away with it after the semis, and they didn't even have Toscano. Toscano goes
Yeah, it's
out in the
minus a whole Toscano.
he goes out in the quarters. He's got a little hamstring injury going on, and so he goes out in the quarters. Now, you can't say that he was going to win that match. He was kind of down, but if he's healthy and he makes it, I mean, there's another 15, 18 points for Buchanan.
But let's say he loses and he comes back and takes third. I
You're going to
mean, that's
make
still
up
good
you're going to
points,
make up
but
12 of those points for sure, yeah, and uh, they're good.
yeah,
Buchanan,
they're a really good team.
they really are.
Well
Is
coached and
is Flo gonna rank them first now?
I don't know. And Faith Christian's got, they got two guys at the same weight, nationally ranked, and they're part of it. But everything's always based off of tournament scoring, um, and
Well, yeah.
a full team. But the question is,
I mean, there's 75-pounder might drop in the rankings, and
yeah,
a couple other things might be. There's so many upsets, and a lot of their better guys, even the Bachmans. I mean, they took losses.
they did both in the
A lot
finals.
of their better guys might drop.
The finals were good, man. We had tons of action. Jorge Rios, after he won, he decided to unfortunately make a gesture with a couple guns and unload the clips, and it made the highlight reels, and Flo posted all of that. But his, let's just talk about the wrestling. Just a great match, and with Rios pulling that off. And he goes and does this stunt. Probably not the best thing that I would want to see. I don't want to promote that violence, but I think
He's
what
played too much GTA right now. Needs to chill.
maybe, or
Dude,
he's
that's not
look.
the first time he's done something risque. Did
Hmm?
you hear one of his post-match interviews after Super 32, like the semifinals maybe or the finals?
Yeah, yeah.
He's spit some hot fire in the past. He's
He's a
got
funny guy and he just likes
yeah.
to, do it. But his wrestling, that's what I want to commentate on because I don't like the other stuff. But man, Rios looked amazing and just a fun finals and him and Garza going back and beating a Clovis kid, right in his own home gym and the takedown at the end and getting the three and winning 4-1. One of the best matches of the night for sure.
If you're from the area, it's probably a great opportunity for you to go and compete against some high level guys in basically your hometown. I mean, yeah, Garza competing in front of his hometown. Um, the same thing with Rockland. I mean, I was listening to you accommodate on the talking about how the whole family was on the side of the mat. I think it was his mom just like hitting the mat, just like, come on, you gotta run back to this. They're always stalling, like just going nuts. Like
And I mentioned it on the broadcast, and I said they weren't being rude, they weren't being egregious, and
just
Robbie
fired up.
Smith's like at Robbie's. Well, depends on what side of the coin you're there, because he took that injury time and was right there in front of the family. They got front row
Oh
seats.
yeah.
And they're just
Yeah.
stalling, get back to the center, hustle. This is terrible. And he's just taking it and he's just sitting there. And, I mean, it was one of the coolest things that I had seen. And he's taking it all in. And the Del Barton guys are just, helping him out, trainers over there. And finally, I think it was one of the cousins or the sisters just gets up and she's like, he's stalling, goes back to the center, and immediately Rock just puts the pedal to the metal and he snaps him down. Robbie and I called it a mixer, but he hit that twister and he set that up 5 moves in advance. Like he came outside shot, front headlock, snap, circle, twist, boom on his back, fall, and there was no hesitation. He hits the fall, he gets up, he runs, hits his backflip, and just he elevated the crowd and
He's a
uh,
gamer.
the most exciting match of the night for sure for me, to call the match. But
Have
the
we all
Zinkin
watched that
boys,
match? Have you guys all watched I
Yeah.
mean, Brian, obviously you watched it. Brian, did you? Other Brian? Brian with a Y.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the first takedown? I thought it was a very poorly officiated match, and I was very happy that Rockland emphatically won because it almost felt like
you think it
the
was too
ref at
quick?
that point.
It was close.
No, 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 no. I felt like the ref uh should have given Rockland a takedown in the first period, and it was improperly scored. And I'm not Matt's side or anything, but I thought it was a very, very clear three takedown. Maybe Sansa's hands weren't on the mat. I didn't see it. I'm pretty sure they were. He was in a tripod. Rockland was behind him on the hips, both hands, weight on hands, and he just wasn't calling three. And then, to Sansa's credit, he just kept wrestling, and he
And
ended up
Troy argued
coming out
that
on top
too.
with the exchange.
Troy
You
argued
can't.
that and
Yeah, but
asked the other ref to look
I
at. So
couldn't
both
believe the
refs
side
said
ref.
no.
Yeah,
the the
I
the
couldn't believe
assistant
he said no.
the assistant swallowed it
The assistant
and
ref. Yeah,
he just said, "Yep, it was his call." And um, yeah, not much of a chase down
I thought
there,
it was a
but
wrong call.
I'll go back and watch it. But sitting Matt's side, we kind of questioned a little bit because we weren't sure. Hey, was that going? Did he award the takedown? Did he not award the takedown? And our advantage point right there, that camera was kind of in the way. We didn't see the official, but I don't know. Good
And
for
then
good for
it
Rock to come
almost
out and take care of business.
well after that takedown, Rockland gets out immediately, and he always wrestles. Dude, he wrestles at a very high pace, and he just starts gun blazing, just taking shot after shot after shot. No stall call,
None.
and it. I don't know if it was especially egregious in that match, but it felt like overall they were calling stalling less at Doc B this year. Like it was, and I feel like the NCAA is almost doing this too. They've overcorrected to where stalling needs to be this more objectively measured thing where it's only if you walk out of bounds. It's like, guys, there's normal stalling. Like if this guy's taking 15 shots and Sans is not taking a single shot, you got to bang him. You got to do it. I don't even know if there's one stall call that maybe he hit him once until that last sequence where Rockland hits the mixer, but the kid was he was on skates the whole time after that first takedown.
Which is interesting because it was almost the opposite in the Villasenor Bachman match, where the stall calls were, which caused that match, which was that was the final match of the night and put us in the UTB. But yeah, the
Well, let me ask
inconsistency.
you, was what's his face roughing? Gosh
McKinney,
darn it. McKinney was Rick
that's our
roughing that one?
boy.
He was on the whistle for the very last match with
There
yes,
you
with
go. How did I know?
Villasenor. And
How did
that's
I
up to
know?
you, man.
But McKinney is very transparent. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Like he does. It's not. He
I'm gonna
doesn't
bang
like.
you if you have a 1 point lead.
Yes, late in the match.
Sorry,
If
Rick, if
I
you
feel
end up
like you're
watching this.
avoiding wrestling, I'm going to ding you if you have the lead.
Rick, that's Brian and
No,
Carlo talking.
No, Rick, dude, I'm cool with Rick. Rick
I
and I
love
are
Rick.
cool.
He's an amazing guy.
We've had Rick on the show. He
Yeah.
has said that. He
Yeah.
has said, this is what I'm going to do.
Yep.
Which I would rather have a ref that is consistent with their calls and already know what's going to happen. So that way we can better prepare our guys. What I don't like is the inconsistency thing. Like,
yeah,
I was listening to
yeah,
somebody and they're coaching, shoot him off the edge. Well, yeah, if you shoot him off the edge, technically it should be an action call if there's a straight shot and there's action going out of bounds. If
yeah.
you want to get the stall call, it should be a shot. You kind of like come up to the
Pressure.
body and kind of walk him out. That's a stall.
Yeah,
There's no
pressure.
action there. He's
Yeah.
backing out of the position.
It
What
should
I
be a
get,
control tie.
yeah, well, it's kind of like what you were
Yeah.
saying before. It's like the way that the refs are calling stalling is either moving backwards or they're not calling stalling in that situation, which there should be an action call. Like make some kind of call. And I'm like, oh, hey, is he backing out? Um, and I see it pretty consistently, whether it was at Sonora down south or Redwood this last weekend. Um, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to chew out our refs because, for one, I feel like when I'm nice to them, they usually favor us in some way, and I have to also balance out our damn coaching staff because you guys are always chewing out the damn refs.
Until they see this podcast and they're like, oh, now I know the real reason, huh?
I'm not so bad
What
anymore.
one thing that I'm seeing a trend of, and we saw it a lot yesterday, a little bit in the finals last night, and then in the college realm today, is you're seeing kids trying to sacrifice the technique for the speed. And what I mean by that, I'll go back to the finals. You looked at Ladd, and he had the right timing, but he jumped up to kind of get on top of a front headlock, and Waters just hit a double leg and took him down. You're seeing a lot of these guys hitting a front headlock and it hitting a snap down to the mat and just trying to circle and jump around instead of run your feet and grab an ankle or put your head in the hole or block it out. And you're seeing these kids trying to take the speed. I don't know. We've always seen that at the out of bounds marker, and that's what kind of got me into it. Is what you're talking, Carlo. Is when they're in the edge of the cylinder, you're able to jump around like that because you're not in danger. But
There's less penalty if you miss. Yeah.
you're seeing so much of that. And again, I go back to that match with Waters and Lad Holman, and Holman he kind of hopped up on top and he like jumped over the top of him. And when he tried to jump over the top of him, Waters just level changed and ran a double.
Well, it's
We saw that,
position beats speed and strength. You got to be in
and
position. We
that's
just
where I'm going with it. We saw it at the college level today with West Virginia in the same situation. One of the CBU wrestlers decided to hop around the circle, and they're sacrificing the technique for the speed,
yeah.
and that's got to stop for sure.
Well, Seth Gross just tweeted something and actually shared it in our little team group chat, but it was like basically talking about it's like you got to have position. Like you can get away with bad shots if you're quick or athletic when you're younger, but when you get older, you wrestle somebody that's like going to hold good position. You're not just gonna be able to walk in on their legs. You got to actually get them out of their position first. But yeah, I don't know. I do want to talk about Ashton Lasik a
Position.
little bit. How was that match with was it Carini who was wrestling?
Who?
Ashton Lasik from Temecula, he was wrestling our boy Ashton. He was wrestling Carini.
Yeah, Lassig. And Karini's just he's a beast. He's the real deal.
It was
And
close on paper.
Ashton's a bigger guy. He's extremely strong. He can wrestle in spurts. Doesn't get out of position too much, but he's a big dude. And Carini, it was an early match for him. Right after that match, he sat down with his dad, and I was kind of right there. And I just, I kind of gave Mr. Carini like that nod. And um, hey, whether that fired him up or not, because he came out and he takes out the number, two ranked kid in the country and makes it to the finals and he wins it. I respect Carini and the family and Mario, but Lassig's a tough dude. Those Temecula boys, they know how to wrestle. They don't get out of position often, and he stayed in front of Mario. And Carini ultimately got the win, but yeah, um, good kid. One of the craziest matches I saw all day, ironically, was another Temecula kid. Clark was wrestling, and I don't remember who he was wrestling. But he pushes into him and he gets launched. And it's a beautiful lat drop straight to his back, and he's on his back. And the referee blows the whistle and he called it an illegal throw. He called it a salto straight over the top. You go back and look at the replay, and it was just a beautiful lat drop. Anyways, there's some blood time, and the blood's happening and happening and happening. And next thing you know, 2.5 minutes later in the match, Clark is completely nose plugged up blood, and he gets thrown to his back again. And as he gets thrown to his back again, he's breathing and fighting off his back, and the nose plugs, and the blood shoots out into the other wrestler's face. And he jumps off, and it's in his face. And then, they call the blood time, but he had Clark on his back again for the second time, about ready to pin him. And turn of events, another minute goes by, and Clark catches him and puts him on his back, and he wins the match by fall. But
He
just
should
some,
have done a Luke
Jeez.
Rockhold and just bled in his face, get that blood all over him.
well, they stopped it, and he
Did they
just
stop
jumped.
it after a count or did they stop it immediately?
He just jumped right off of him as soon as he threw him to his back, and the blood kind of came out the nose and it got in his face, and he just jumped off and he couldn't see. But there's some wars, man. You look at some of those finals, those podiums, and you just see people with scars and cuts and bloody eyes, and that is a tough, tough high school tournament. And the pageantry and the intimacy of being in a gym instead of like this massive arena, it is easily my favorite tournament to go to all year long. It was great.
There's so
Yeah,
many
no,
like
they
big
get
matches that I
the
feel like
production value of it was the best it's ever been. Adam's done the best he's ever done. Adam, Clovis, Schaefer, the Tirapellis, all the coaching staff. They did the best that it's ever been. And it's so polished. Jay on the mic, Japeth, MC and the whole thing was so
Puma.
prepared, so
Yeah.
polished. Yeah. Um,
I just
yeah,
thought
you guys did a great job.
thanks, man. We try to have a nice little fun call. Robbie is so energetic, and it's a pleasure to be next to him, an Olympian, and to have the headset and to make those calls. But what really stood out this year was the wrestling in the finals. And whether it was the first match and Moses Mendoza comes out and it's super exciting, and he's getting that tech, and he finishes off with the fall, the tech fall, and just dominant performance. And every match, all the way until the very last match, there was something exciting in the last minute. Carini and Ontiveros was a fun match. Waters getting the takedown in the double leg. Burford over Calkins at the very end to win at eight
yeah.
five. Even the two out of state schools with the heavyweights. Candelaria is a big dude from Sunnyside, and he came out, and Effendian, he gets that match out there, and Faith Christian gets the finals. But to see Jaden James and the Bachman Romero match was so fun, and the 3-2. You look at
He should have got
Grajeda's
hit with
match.
stalling, by the way. Romero.
Romero. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
and again, you're getting into that judgment call, but he had the time, he had the points and the position in the match to be able to stall.
Do you know?
So
Yeah, he did. You know what I'm referring to though? Bachman had him on his belly
yeah,
the whole second period.
wrote him
I
out.
mean, he kept on trying to tight waist tilt him, and it was his. He's got to have an unreal tight waist because he was literally lifting his hips up off the mat like a gut wrench with one arm and loading him
Hmm.
up into his hips, and he just couldn't turn him. And Romero was just so committed to not getting turned. He was almost like defending a gut, like he was tilting his hips into it and
Yeah.
getting weight on his hands. Uh, but he was pretty much velcroed to the mat, and they did not even hit him one time with stall calls. So I don't know. I, I always root for the California guy if it's not a state, whatever. I was
Right.
rooting for Romero, but I was like, how is he not getting hit with stalling right now?
I thought a well-rounded referee, good finals. Um, the one match that was really impressive, and I don't want to take anything away from Besmer. He wrestled amazing. Hicks wasn't the same after that first minute or so when he hit his head on the mat
Yeah.
and he took that time. That wasn't the normal Slater Hicks that we've all grown to see, but Besmer wrestled an amazing match, and he's the real deal too. So to
Well,
see,
Hicks was in a barn burner with Carrillo in the semis. If you
yeah,
want to talk about that one,
that
the
was
double
on,
OT, the locked hands,
yeah, and sliding
or
up,
is
and
that
then there,
Bachman?
well, Bachman had the
Who
locking
was it?
hands, but
Bachman had the locking hands. No, Slater was
he
it
had the leg
Carrillo?
in.
Far leg in at the end.
Yeah, he had the leg in and gets the three and gets in the position right at the buzzer. But um, when
He was
Hicks
losing
hit
that
his,
match, majority of that match.
say that again.
I think Slater was losing the majority of that match against Carrillo, right?
He was
And
down
Slater
after
had
that
that.
first takedown. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
And then came back and puts his legs in. But I don't know. I was really impressed with Ashton Desmer all weekend long. Just cool, calm,
yeah,
collective, and came out and Slater hit his head and he wasn't the same, but a dominant performance
yeah,
by Besmer. I think it ended up 9-2, the final.
yeah,
And
something like that. Yeah,
it was great.
just
A
three
phenomenal
takedowns.
finals, class act along the way. They treat us well, and another Doc B that just lives up to the hype. And there were 15 states represented in that tournament, and they do a good job, man. They do a really good job.
Has Wyoming seminaries come to Blair or come to Doc? Has Blair ever come to Doc? Can they come
No,
to
and they
Doc? Are we not
can't.
allowed to have boarding schools?
The rules
Yeah.
are pretty simple. You have to compete in your state's tournament to travel on that, whether you're private school or not. They're part of that prep school stuff, and
Okay.
they don't make it out. Yeah, they can't compete in that.
Okay.
If if California was to have them
Lake
out,
Highland has come.
and again, it's all depending on if they compete in their state championships. Now, I know some people have gone in and out of that prep school kind of tourney, but I don't know. Bergen was there.
No,
Alaska was
Bergen was there. No, but
there.
Lake Highland's coming. The South Anchorage had a couple studs. South Anchorage, I think, had one or two placers. Um, no, but Lake Highland Prep has been there, and they're really nice this year. They have a really good team, and I think they're going to have a good team for another couple of years. I mean, I'm trying to think of how Clovis can make it better, and
It's going to be tough
it's
to
so
top.
like
It's going to be tough to top
it's
this year.
tough. Yeah, when
Yeah.
you have 1, 3, 5, 7, 11, 14, 17, like it's like how I don't know how you can do that, how you can make it better without getting into the boarding schools, which would be illegal. So I'm just kind of thinking like what other schools would even legally be able to attend, and Lake Highland Prep's one of the ones I'm thinking of. I don't even know who else because there's pretty
Bishop
much
McCourt.
like
Do they make it
one
out?
interesting statistic is Bishop McCourt, yeah, but they don't really have anybody anymore because Jax is gone, and really it would just be Bo and Melvin. Um, I think the Cracker.
The
I
Cracker?
don't know. I think that's his name, right? The Cracker. You
Cracker.
think he's going to Penn State? The
We
Cracker.
have Melvin, and
I
then
didn't
you
say that.
have
You did.
the younger Bassett.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been a good addition too. Yeah, that would have been fun. He would have wrestled Rios or
Now,
Garza.
I don't know if they
Um,
compete in that prep school stuff, if they're on that side, but it's a tough
yeah, they
tournament.
wouldn't have done well in the team race though. You need to have a full team to compete at Doc.
Yeah, you got to have 14 dudes. Yeah, for sure. And the way that Buchanan had and how deep they are, to be able to come out and put those points. And, when I think Silva took fourth, or did he take third?
Uh,
I didn't see the results of that
Which,
match.
Dallas. Is it Dallas? No,
Um,
Dallas
oh
got
no,
second.
Thales was in the finals.
Thiago.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
it
lost
was
to
Tiago. I don't know
Lost
if
to
it was
Rios.
third
which
or fourth, but just the depth. Even Roberts, scoring some points, and they're tough. And looking at California,
Berta came back and took third dominantly.
yeah, I don't see anybody in California beating them this year. We always talk about Bosco and them having 13 returning guys, and um, Clovis, and Gilroy is way down. They're going to have maybe four place winners this year. I've said that in the group chat for a while now. I think they're only going to have four, and they lost the duel to Immaculate Conception. They dueled them a couple days before Doc B, and DC had put out that huge thing on social media saying that this isn't how Gilroy wrestling is, and we apologize. There's no fight. I'll fix it. Um, but the normal horses, Esperanza, they had a couple guys there, but missing Sammy, missing Gabe. Once they come back to the full lineup, it's going to be Buchanan and everybody else below.
I think Esperanza, probably not this year, but maybe in the next couple. And then also depending on who comes in for them in the next couple of years. I mean, they can make a top three run for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
Are the Holiday boys? There's 65 and maybe 75 or 57, 65.
They're
What
yeah,
year are
junior.
they?
I
they
think
gotta be
they're
juniors and
I,
seniors.
I think they're I think they're juniors. No
Okay, so
one's a
they're coming
senior.
back.
No one on that team is a senior.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was
Um,
alluding to. I didn't know how many upperclassmen they had. I really don't know, except for Sammy, who's a sophomore. I don't really know what year
Um,
their
James
horses are.
Ruiz, is he
Ruiz is
what?
a sophomore. They're all part of that underclassmen.
Then
They're
they
going to
had
be.
one of them go up to Clovis North.
Is that Areola?
Yeah,
Ariola.
Yeah.
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 He
Keeler Cuff.
took sixth. Yeah, he's the one who upset Toscano.
hmm And that was a good match. And Toscano was about to get taken down and then had the injury and kind of sat on the edge. And they didn't award the three takedown for a long time. And we were sitting up at the table and we're like, are they not going to award the takedown? Are they not going to award the takedown? And then finally we saw it on the board and they had awarded the takedown before Toscano had asked for the injury time. But Esperanza is going to be tough in the next years, but I don't see anybody coming close to Buchanan this year at the state tournament.
But if we wanted to do
Yeah.
a
Do you
simple
see
man tournament, I think we have Frontier as a good shot at least finishing second.
You think so, huh?
Yeah.
You
second for what?
you think
At the simple man wrestling tournament between Slam, Frontier, and Granite. I think we're in a pretty good spot.
Oh. I see what you're saying.
who wins that? You think Oren can pull that off and
Slam.
Slam wins that?
In a dual meet, it would be interesting.
So that's got to
It'd be a
happen.
good
That's
dual
got to
meet
happen in a
between us
few
and
years.
I mean,
There needs to
we
be a
asked
tri
Granite
duel.
to duel
I wish
last
the
year, and
Granite
I
boys were
think
here
they're
right
they're
now.
like
We
they're
asked them.
like they're ducking right now.
They
Well,
They
said our
ducked us this
schedule
year.
doesn't. We asked them like in spring too. Like we asked them earlier. They're like, well, our schedule doesn't fit. It's like, all right,
that's
buddy.
funny because didn't they just find a dual time to wrestle Birmingham?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Mm,
you could easy set that up.
No, they're for sure
I see
ducking.
what you're
And
doing there,
here's
Brian, and
the
I like
thing,
it.
we're going through the middlemen. That's our problem. We're going with the lowly assistants. We need
So
to be
then
talking to the main man.
Maybe Carlo needs to call Jesse,
Call
or
Jesse.
and then he needs to call Chase and set that up.
Yep.
We could broadcast that. We could put that on Flow. That would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we'll come do a tri duel between Frontier, Granite, and Slam.
There
And
you go.
Yeah,
Bakersfield's right in the middle
that'd be
between San
fun.
Diego and Vegas.
Let's just rent out the state tournament.
Are we
I
though?
forget which bank.
Dignity Health Arena.
There you go. So
It's
Dignity
Dignity
Health
Health Arena
Arena
now.
now owns it. We'll just do that, and we'll call it in. It'll be a tri-duel.
Well, let's
I
cut
feel
costs.
like
Let's just do it at Frontier's Gym.
Nah, let's do it
next
in the
year
big
all
room.
our teams will be pretty equal. I think this year our teams are fairly like competitive. Like, probably Slam's probably favorite. Actually, we're probably not. We're probably the least favored. Granite's probably favored ahead of us, and so is Slam. But I think there's enough there where like our team's competitive enough to make it interesting, and we get a couple upsets, which we could. We have a decent dual team this year. It'd be interesting to see how that would have panned out. And there's some good
They're,
matches. I mean,
they're
Ames and
ducking.
Jane would be
I
good.
like it. Stir that pot, dude. Yeah, Ames and Jade would have been a fun match. Ames is a heavy, I wouldn't say a heavy favorite, but a for sure favorite.
They have
And
a
it would
good
have been
90
fun to
pounder
wrestle
too,
that
don't they?
match.
We've
And a
talked
20
about
pounder and a 40 pounder. They got like 4 or 5 really good guys.
some of these Simpy awards, and so maybe the first honorary Simpy award goes to the ducking award. Who's the ducker? And in this case, we might have to give the very first bobblehead trophy Simpy award to Granite Hills for ducking, and there's Mr.
Oh
Simpy right
man,
there.
We'll give that one to
I gotta
Jesse.
find my glasses.
We got to give that
Hold
to
on, I need to find
Sean.
my glass. All this shade.
Sean and Brady,
Hold
you
up,
Put
get the
your
very
glasses on.
you get the very first
dude.
Simpy
All this
award.
shade being thrown, boys, boys. With all this
Your
shade being
alter
thrown,
ego.
I
Hey,
got
you
those
need to do
glasses
all
on.
podcasts from here on out with those sunglasses on.
You should, dude. Mr.
These little guys.
305.
This
Mr.
is I'm in
305.
Vegas mode now.
Well, then
Ah, man.
maybe we should make some championship glasses if you're talking about Vegas. If Slam wins it, everybody's got to wear those glasses. I don't know what you Bakersfield boys have
There's
that
gotta
we
be
could.
something.
Yeah, we'll give something. Maybe an oil derrick or something like that.
No, that's a BHS thing.
No,
Slams guy
yes,
looked
but it's a Bakersfield thing, not BHS. It's a Bakersfield.
We're on the ag side of town. Maybe we'll give them an almond, some almonds or something.
a tree or something.
Hey,
Give them a treat.
we're having these made. This is just not a prototype. We'll get these out so we can pass them
Oh,
out
and
to each other.
you know what I realized? You know what I just realized? Our best guys from each school are all at 44s. Slam's best guy took third, their best guy. Slam's highest placer was at 44s. And then Granite's best guy is at 44s Ames. And then we had set a placer with Jaden. So that would have been a fun mix it up.
So Slam 1, Frontier 2, and Granite 3 in that
There you
order.
go.
And that's no shade to Ames.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's not a real, I mean, it's just about our guys getting better, you know? I mean, I know the Granite guys are all about winning and that's good for them. And
Dude, this
for
is
us, it's about getting better at wrestling in the process. So
The sarcasm is thick and just keep rolling with
I'm pretty dry. Like
it.
ask Carla, how many times have you looked at the rankings this year
I don't. I only have to do it for when I have to put in
for seeding?
seating
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't look at
I
rankings
wonder how
ever.
many
Like I'm
times
legit don't look at rankings. Honestly, I'll tell you what, Brian. My phone can't even pull up Angel Fire. So even
well
if I
the
wanted to,
website
I
Well,
crashed.
no one can, unfortunately.
oh well, there you
Website
go.
crashed.
That's why. So
Mr. Mr.
I tried
Chow,
to
he's gonna find a new domain for that. But
okay, I didn't know that. So 2 nights ago, one of our wrestlers was asking if he should change weights, whatever, and I'm like, I know it's gonna be the same no matter what weight you go. But I looked it up just like to see what he was talking about, and I couldn't do it. And that was like the first time in months that I actually tried to look up rankings. So and I
he's
couldn't do
gotta
it. So
he's gotta find a title sponsor for his website, and
okay,
he does
Simple
such an
man, we have a
amazing job.
website. Tell him.
there you go.
Here's my thought. So we're this is episode 98. So we have a couple more episodes and then we reach episode 100. But at the rate we've been putting them out, I'm sure we'll have a pre-state episode and then we'll have a post-state episode and that'll probably be episode 100. But I feel like there's a few other people that are like down that are actually could help. I feel like Al has talked about writing a little bit more, and maybe possibly helping the website. So Al, I know you're watching. You can help. Pablo DeMaria, I just met him at Sonora. This last week, and we talked a little bit. He writes. I'm like, dude, let's get him on. And then, hey,
Pablo's an old
Michael
dog.
Cho would add some legitimacy. Hey, start writing for Simple Man, dude.
Let's do it. Well,
It chose a man.
you got to reach out. Every broadcast that happens, what it was a 3C2A, it was the duel, it was Doc B. Al always finds a way to send us a text and say he's listening from Idaho, and so we try to give him a shout out on our broadcast.
I love Al Fontes,
But,
man. He's the man.
well, boys,
I mean, you can't do any better than getting someone passionate like that guy.
you can't. I'm pretty beat. It's been a long week. We drove
Yeah.
up, Doc B did all that, and then got up early to come down for West Virginia CBU. And I'm going to try to hang out with my fam a little bit tonight. But I appreciate you boys. Carlo, it was so great to talk with you and, talk about a little bit of health stuff going on, and we love it. Best wishes along the way for all of us.
Yeah, I'm
And
glad you're doing better, man.
yeah, thanks, guys.
Your
And
voice sounds good. I don't know what you were talking about.
but well, if you'd show up to the Doc B, which you never do, you're
I'm
always
more of a hipster when it comes to tournaments. I'm like the
yeah.
ultimate hipster.
Now, are you guys coming down here this weekend? You coming to see me here in Temecula?
Brian will be there. I won't be there.
All right, so the one person's going to be in, and we'll flip it along the way. So,
Yep.
unfortunately, we'll have to superimpose
Flip it, reverse
Carlo's
it.
face in the photo, but I appreciate you boys so much.
All right,
Yeah,
Brian.
Navarro, you're a workhorse, man. You freaking are everywhere. You're everywhere all at once. You're omniscient, man.
Well, they pay me
Glad to
there,
have you.
so
Glad you're
I
doing your
get
thing.
I get to lube up the pipes and spit it out and try to bring an excitement to the kids across the country.
Whoa.
Keep those pipes loose,
Pause
Brian.
there, Mr. Navarro.
You
Yeah.
guys,
This is a
uh,
This is a
family
family
show.
show.
it
This is a
is
family
Yeah.
show, Brian.
100%.
No, but I mean, it's guys like you and Fontes. Like you guys make this interesting, and you guys bring the eyes. So thank you for that. And I agree with you, Brian. It's been a long weekend, and I too am gonna go have dinner with my family. So I'll be signing off. Thank you, Brian, for having me.
See you guys.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate you.